never been the tallest, but I've been having to fight taller opponents my whole life now. So I know what I'm talking about when it comes to defeating larger opponents because everybody's bigger than me. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how we can methodically beat up larger opponents consistently. So let's get right into the video. When you fight somebody bigger than you, they hit harder, they can take shots better than you, and they push you around in a clinch. The absolute worst thing that you can do is fight on their terms. The solution is to stay sharp, stay mobile, and keep on getting them to fight your fight instead. But after enough strategy, feints, and movement, you might start to give up. Okay, so the game plan overview then. For us to beat taller opponents, we just need 4 different things. Firstly, we need to explode in before they even plant their feet. Taller, ranger opponents usually like to throw one strike and move around. If we can be the person that moves first and we are the ones that initiate the attacks, we stop their momentum from being able to tee off on us with long-range attacks. We need to throw punches in bunches when we're up close, so we do not want to be just throwing loads of punches and not exiting out. So when you hear your corner man shout to you, "When you're in there, stay in there," what they really mean is, once you're in there, make the absolute most of it and then exit out nicely and safely. Thirdly, we need to target the body early so then it opens up the headshots later on. Against taller opponents, it's a lot harder to hit their head, so we need to be targeting the body early on, hoping that they start to reach down for our body punches so we can open up the headshots later on. Fourthly and finally, we need to chop the legs away so we can take away their base. It's a lot harder for taller opponents to be able to see our low kicks considering we are the shorter, harder to hit and faster opponents. Bigger guys kind of rely on you being scared to enter when they've got the range advantage. If you just stay on the outside, they can just walk you down or they can just pick you apart from the outside. Explode in, land first and move before they can even load up. One thing we can do is dart in with a cross. After you've landed the cross, you can use a left hook on the end of it. My favourite one, you can put the cross and then the double step low kick on the end. This is by far one of my most used techniques, and I use my shin to spring back into my stance. Once you've sprung into your stance, you can dart straight back in with another double step low kick. Cross into double step low kick, just like this. As soon as you land, bang, done. Another way you can explode in is by using the jumping teep. I use this after I land a low kick, when they're stepping towards us, when they're moving away from us. Only time I would not throw this is if they've got a lot of sideways movements. Honestly, there's so many different ways that we can get in on the inside against a taller opponent, and I'm going to leave that for you guys to join my free community, first link in the description, to really level up your fight game. Next one we've got is pocket combinations. So when your coach says, when you get in there, stay busy, what they really mean is making the most of your attacks. And then once you've made the most of your attacks, get out in a safe way. Like I say, I've got a whole library full of different techniques you can use when you finally get into the inside of the pocket against a larger opponent. I've made a whole course on how to beat larger opponents. So yeah, first link in the description once again. But yeah, here are some of my favourite 3-piece plus combinations. So moving on to body work now, guys. So just understand that bigger guys gas out faster than the shorter, smaller, more nimble opponents because they're bigger people, right? So the bigger they are, the more energy it takes for them to move around, to throw punches, even defending punches. I want you to see each time that you hit the body as an investment shot because what it will do is it will zap their energy while also simultaneously open up the headshots later on. We can do this in many, many different ways. We can do this by body kicks. We can do this by teep kicks. We can even do it by punches. I'll go through a few nice examples for you to have a look at. So we've got the rear teep here. We've got the lead body kick. Although it's harder on taller opponents, we can also throw the knee. Have rear body kicks as well, which are a lot harder to land on taller opponents, especially because you have to kick up, which means it's easier for them to catch. So my recommendation is to use many different ways to set up the body kick. And like I say, full course, first link in the description. And then we have body punches. As you can see here, you can sometimes drop people with body punches. We can also use our lead teep to interrupt our taller opponent coming towards us. Like I say, once we start investing into the body early, it then opens up the headshots later on because our taller opponents, if they're taller than us, they like to stand tall as well, which means that they like to reach down for punches. This video would take absolutely forever if I showed you all of the different alternatives you can do from going to the body first and then working up to the head. But what I will do is I'll show you a few ways you can use your kicks to the body or legs to set up the headshots. If you want to use your body punches to set up your headshots, then join the first link in the description. I've got all the different types of courses based around how to beat bigger opponents. First link in the description, boys. One way is by using the teep to set up our jab into our low kick. If we throw enough teeps, they start reacting and hopefully they go to catch and we land our jab. What we can also do is use our teep to set up a jumping feint teep, and then we use that to set up the long knee while they're shelled up or backing away with the long guard by pulling them in, or we can even use it to set up our left hook right low kick. Another thing that we can do is use our rear leg to set up our rear hook by getting them to go catch our rear kick, whether it's to the leg, body or head. It will always land no matter what anyway, as you can see. And then lastly but not leastly, we need to be chopping down the low kicks. We need to be chopping the giant's legs down. Thing is, our bigger opponents, they struggle to see our low kicks coming from us because we're the smaller, faster and more nimble opponents. And it's also a lot harder for taller opponents to look as low. So chopping down the low kicks is a very effective way that we can slowly break down the bigger fighter. So here are endless different examples of how we can set up the low kick then, boys. Especially if they've got a wider stance, we can just throw naked low kicks. And what I mean by that is throwing low kicks without any setups. As you can see, you can go inside and outside. And then we also have the left hook into the right low kick, and as you can see, I use this in endless different variations. As long as the first punch just before the low kick is the left hook, you can set it up in so many different ways by using body kicks, crosses, jabs, anything really, as long as you end on the left hook low kick. And then we've got the cross into the low kick, and then I can use this as a counter. I can do the darting cross like earlier, or just throw the cross into the low kick, or just ending on the cross really. Like I say, boys, this can be set up in so many different ways. We can go leg kick into cross into low kick. We can go left hook cross into low kick. We can put a screw punch cross into low kick. Hand trap into cross into low kick. There is endless different options, so have a look. What we can also do is slip on the inside of their jab or straight punch into the rear overhand into the low kick. So one thing that we certainly do not want to be doing is trying to outmuscle bigger guys. The way that we do that is by using angles and more volume compared to our bigger opponents, because we need to be making the most of our attacks. And then, like I said earlier, we need to be exiting out in a safe way. The next thing we need to stop doing is backing up in a straight line. If we're backing up in a straight line and they've got longer attacks than we do, that means that we're just going to still be eating those shots. So the way that we stop the long straight shots from happening is by circling out. But then at the same time, we need to be aware of roundhouse kicks coming our way as we circle. So then we've also got ignoring the body. When you're fighting somebody way taller than you, the last thing you want to do is try and headhunt. So we need to commit to misdirecting the targets every single round. Legs, body, and head, but start off with the lower targets first, the body and the legs. Next, last thing is throwing one strike at a time. We need to build 3 to 5 piece combinations and then make sure that we're still exiting out in a safe way. So that is the end of the video anyways, boys. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully you guys learned something. Remember, first link in the description is my free community where I teach you guys how to fight. Every single day I'm posting new things in there. So join up, boys, and I can't wait to see you in there.